You look sweaty. Are
No,
you cutting grass?
this is shower.
Oh,
Yeah. No, I had to jump in the shower real quick.
to get on the podcast.
Yeah,
You stink
something
so
like
bad
that.
that we can smell you.
Yeah, I smell like Creed cologne because I've got good taste in fragrances.
Yeah. What's your go-to cologne?
Either Creed Aventus or Louis Vuitton Imagination.
Yeah, my wife got me cologne for like the first time in a long
What'd
time.
she get you?
Clinique.
Ooh, that's nice.
It's good. It smells good.
If you want, man, I can plug you into really great men's fragrances, but you can't be so cheap though. They're like $500 to $800 a bottle.
But the thing is, like, I wear it for myself pretty much because I'm in an office on my own every day. So
Yeah, but look good, feel good, you know?
yeah. So we have not had a show for
Get some brute, Greg. Get some nice brute.
so that we haven't had a show for a long time. Kevin was in Japan for a few weeks.
Yep.
Did one of his bucket list trips. I've been just grinding here. I'm destined. So this is our first show that we're gonna stream. Well, I'm not gonna stream it live, but we're gonna post this into the Facebook group. So something new because we have our Facebook group is growing. We're at 6,000 followers now, or how would you call it? Members. It's growing like crazy, growing like a weed, and a lot of new people, a lot of new commenters, and it's great. We love it when we get new ideas in there. So tell your friends, invite everybody in there because the more people we in there, just the better ideas and the better community we're gonna have. Who's playing in the background? Are we getting concerto?
What? Oh, do you hear the piano?
Yeah.
Nice. My daughter's practicing. Yeah, it'll be fine. A little background music.
Little background music won't hurt.
Yeah.
No, I'm good with that. I'm good
Yeah.
with that. So
Yeah, that's good. At least one of us can hear it. I got my headphones in, so I can't hear it.
Oh, tell us about your trip real quick. What was the best part? What was the most interesting? Did you rent a boat? I saw the picture. Did you rent a Japan boat rental?
Yeah, no, I didn't rent a boat. We just got done hiking up to the top of this mountain where you feed monkeys from this enclosure. You like go into the enclosure. They're wild, and they come up to the thing, and you feed them, like little pieces of apple and peanuts. My kids loved it, dude. It was incredible, man. Yeah. Yeah, it was a pretty steep climb, though. That was for sure, dude.
Were they the capuchin monkeys?
Oh, isn't that Carpathian? Isn't that? Do I have?
I don't know. Remember the movie Night at the Museum, the little capuchin monkey?
Oh yeah. There was I don't know so it's a much different scene there when you're going to like interact with wildlife. We did that, and then we did Nara Park, and they have like a bowing deer. You give give them, they're wild too, and yeah, I was touch and go there at that one for a minute. It's at temples too, so you're there. You enter into the temple grounds at this park, and then yeah, they have all these like free roaming deer, and yeah, I got chased. I got chased by a bunch of them when I pulled out the crackers, and they get very aggressive. They'll like bite you in the ass or bite you in the back of the elbow to try, and because they're everywhere, dude. I mean, like hundreds of them. It's really wild. And then you go and you walk the temples. It's a lot different than like American attractions. I mean, everything's much different, obviously, but the culture is it's very hard to explain, man. Like everything moves like a lot slower, a lot quieter. It's much more controlled. There's much more people. It's much less chaotic. Because it's probably antithesis to what you would think. You know what I mean? 37 million people. We were there during Golden Week, which is like one of their major holidays. And everything was just, everything went really smooth. You know what I mean? Like there wasn't like a lot of, I mean, I got the 3 kids, so my youngest make things stressful, but for the most
Mhm.
part, like it was very low stress, you know what I mean? Like Disney World, even with the like I wants and stuff, they're redirected really easy because there's just so much going on. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, awesome. So I went to New Zealand in 2017, but I haven't really done anything that big. We went there for 3 weeks, but I look forward to going back. I think it'll be a fun trip, especially when you're older. New Zealand is a great place when the kids are older. A lot of adventure activities. So was it more just sightseeing and attractions than it was like? Did you guys do anything like activity?
Oh, no, we mostly, me and my wife went to a sumo show, like a sumo wrestling show. They let me wrestle one of the sumo wrestlers. I have all of it on video. I took the Ray-Ban glasses. I filmed hours of footage. I literally have hours of footage. Like I could be a travel blogger at this point. You know what I mean? Like I got hundreds of pictures, hours of footage. I posted a lot of it on Facebook, but
Wait. They you wrestled one? Did you get your ass kicked?
I mean the guy was 425 pounds. I told him he looked like I told him he looked like a big fat baby, and I made them translate that. And I don't think he liked it, honestly. Like, because there's like a lot of shit talking going on, but I was like, "You tell him he looks like a baby," and he's like, "I make your wife my wife," and I was like, "You look," I was like, "You kind of look
Oh
like
my
a
god.
baby. You might make my wife your mom." I was like, and then I did this. I was like, and then he went, "Ugh." He gave me the sumo growl. And then I was trying to press up against him. And then I just didn't have like my weight centered. And he just like it felt like 2 fingers. And he just pushed like that. And I went down. And that was it. It was a lot of fun, man. It was a really good that was a really good experience activity. But yeah, I mean, we mostly just did sightseeing. I mean, we took a bullet train that ran like maglev, runs like 200 miles an hour to Kyoto. We went to a lot of temples. Yeah, it was really great. It was the the best. It was the best traveling I've ever done in my life. I've been to the Philippines, I've been to Costa Rica, Canada, Mexico, almost every state in the U.S. Last year, we did a 35-day trip across country to all the Western states,
Mhm.
and Japan has a special place in my heart. I could live there, man. I could get an apartment and live there
Yeah.
easily. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
cool. Well, this is our first episode with Kevin back. We're gonna start getting back on a regular schedule here. We took her a little bit of a break, but I I wanted to talk today. So we had our coaching call today, and we have an amazing coaching group. If you're interested in our peer coaching, just reach out to us. Kevin at Destiny Water Adventures will walk you through what our coaching is. But it was
Oh, I think we should talk about coaching in a later date. I mean, we got something very topical right now with Google. Did you not see that article?
Yeah, I just want before we get into that, let's talk about that. I think it's a good,
Yeah.
in today's coaching call, now we're not going to give away. I mean, if you got to join the coaching call to get the goods, but we talked about conversion rate and close rate and your add-ons, and it was like pretty. I think it was pretty illuminating for everybody to realize that we really don't know those numbers as well as we think we do. And just for example, one of the guys didn't think that his add-ons were doing better than they actually were. When we ran through the data and actually found that there was improvements. So what we found is that we just don't know. We're not tracking. We don't know. We actually gave some homework to all of our coaching uh, uh, students here. Like they have to like do a little homework to see what their conversion rates are and their close rates are and the difference between those. But you can't make changes to your business if you don't know what's happening. And that's what you going into the summer, especially looking at last year's data, looking at the spring's data, and understanding what's working, and not just taking a gut feeling, because it's a lot of times it's not true. Like you really got to run the numbers. And I think that was kind of like the premise of that call today. And I think it really resonated.
Yeah. So like one thing I didn't get into the call on the call, which I'll happy to give like at least the top level view here. Because, you know, obviously on the coaching call, we go much deeper in the weeds. But the one thing that I've always said on the show, in the group, and it's like a mantra, you know, you guys are fucking lazy. You know, like you just want to sit there and take online bookings all the time. I hear it and see it all the time. Oh, book online. They call, book online, you know, because you don't want to be sales first. You know, you want to have a reservation fucking, you know, hotline. There's no hard push. There's no hard sale. There's no taking them down the funnel. And so like the thing that I'm trying to get through to everyone is that if you don't have strong sales, it's not just about what happens like when you're taking the phone call, it's everything up to that. Okay. So if you're pushing for, if you want to have like 80% online sales, you know, I talked with Steve Edwards from AMP Agency about this years ago. And he was just like, well, what's the percentage of your phone sales, your phone calls versus your online bookings? And I'm like, I don't know, 80-20, 85-15. I mean, it was that strong because I would get busy. I didn't want to take the call. I didn't want to be on the phone for 30 minutes or have my people on the phone for 30 minutes taking the time to get the sale done. And they'd just be like, da, 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 do you have booking? No, click. Or do you have availability? No, click. Like we don't do that anymore. And our numbers are probably close. I haven't looked recently. You know, I don't look every single fucking day. I'm not, you know, doing like a goddamn stock market with it. But now our sales are like closer to 60-40, 60 online, 40% over the phone. And that can be changed. That can be manipulated. You could run your ads as call to book. You could make a stronger, compelling offer for them to call. And if you have a high close rate on the phone, and it got me to thinking about this today, because one thing I don't know is my average cart value for a phone call versus my average cart for an online conversion. And I would guess if I had to make an assumption on it, I bet you the phone calls have a higher average cart value because we're pushing the add-ons. We're pushing all of these things over the phone. We're taking the time, we're leading them down. And I know that we have obviously a higher close rate than we do a conversion rate, right? That's just obviously because people that are calling are going to be warmer than people are just browsing online or whatever, looking at what we have to offer. So, I mean, our close rate versus a conversion rate is so much higher. And so the close rate on the cart and then the close rate on the add-ons makes that phone call a much more valuable piece. And I think as AI starts to take over, the importance of the people-to-people part of this is going to be the difference between who wins and who loses. You're going to be either a homogenized brand, you're going to look like and sound like and act like everyone else, or you're going to have a unique brand voice and identity that shines through the beginning of experience and to the end of the experience. And as this shift happens, you're going to see people yearning and wanting that people connection because everything's going to be automated. Everything's going to be chatbots. Everything's going to be automated sales. You see everybody going for it. And this is a very typical in any market. It's where you see everybody turning one way, you better turn the other way. Warren Buffett, when there's flags in the air, you better start retreating. And when there's blood in the streets, you better start advancing. And this is no different.
Yeah. Everything you're saying is right. So from my own personal experience, and most of you know that I run Trip Shock, and Trip Shock's been around for 17 years. So we've been around. In fact, we didn't start too long after Get Your Guide and Viator. So we've been around just as long. Now, we didn't take all of this investment money and we took a different path. But right now we're going through a pretty critical time where we need to pivot, because what we're going to talk about in a moment here has kind of led us to realizing that the marketplace model that we're used to with going to Google and searching for terms and then paying for traffic, that model is going to be disrupted in such a huge way. We already saw in I think it was a previous episode or maybe in a coaching call, of how planning that happens now with AI first before even Google. Like it's in a year, we went from Google being the main place to plan for travel to ChatGPT or Claude. That is unbelievable. So for me as a marketplace, I have to now spend more and more money because the organic traffic is shifting to LLMs, which LLMs do not favor OTAs. LLMs favor the best result that takes things more in account. It's not just who's spending the most or who has the biggest SEO budget. It's reviews, it's blogs, it's your social. There's so many forums, people talking about you. So you can compete in this, this new ecosystem as a small business, where 10 years ago, the OTAs dominated all the search. So for me, I have to pivot. I cannot go do the same thing that I have been doing the past 17 years with paying for traffic and converting. I have to do something different. And I'm really excited that I feel like we've pivoted and we have a great product we're going to be releasing soon. But it took me 3 years to kind of figure that out. And I started to planning, just like Kevin said, I saw the writing on the wall, after COVID and how this was shifting and AI. I made that change and I feel really good about now the future, but it was rocky. On not knowing how to get away from that model. And that's what you're going to have to think about is, yes, people are going to start shifting to vibe coded software. We talk about the SaaS apocalypse this past weekend, about everything's going to be changing soon. And you need to be 5 steps ahead of this. You need to be on to the next thing, because everyone's going to have AI voice. Everyone's going to have AI chatbots. This whole AI stuff is just going to get really, it's going to be inundate our entire industry.
I want to like go on record here, because I said this 6 months ago about, and this is a great pivot here. When everyone was like, you need to learn AI. You need to learn AI. Oh, you need to learn how to prompt. You need to learn how to, and I'm not saying that that's not, like, prompting isn't valuable right now, but it's like, oh, we need to figure out how to use AI to fucking optimize Google search. And I'm just like, no, no, you don't, man. Like, you're so fucking wrong on that. It's like huge waste of time. And fucking now we see with today's article with Google, basically, and you can talk to more. I mean, I read this as the fucking collapse of SEO.
It is. So the blogs you wrote, the social media, rich snippets you're getting, it's all going to collapse. And basically it's going to be conversational, just like you see with ChatGPT. Gemini search is going to be the new frontier. And ads will still be a big part of this, but it's going to be served in a different way. So if you use Google Ads, you might notice that there's AI mode that you can activate on your campaigns. And what that essentially does, it allows your ads to show up in conversational searches. So it takes the keyword signals. And if someone says, what's the best time of the year to go to Crab Island, and rent a pontoon boat? So these long conversational searches, and then it will take those keywords, match them with the keyword, with the user's query or conversation, and then it will place your ads. I feel like this is going to be a little interesting for advertisers, because if they're asking this long question, there could be several different advertising opportunities in this long question. So they could be looking for activities. They could be looking for hotels. Like, they can be looking for restaurants nearby. Like, there's so many different things that can come out of a conversation than a direct search. I like the traditional search, boat rentals in Miami. I know that they're looking for a boat rental, and that's it. That's what they're looking for too. But conversational searches really expand that. And that's why I'm shifting TripShock into more to kind of subvert that, because I know the OTAs in the beginning are going to be the winners, because they can spend so much and just blanket all sort of keyword signals. But if it doesn't work out for them, it's going to be a huge, like, you're seeing this in the property management space. They're talking about the apocalypse of OTAs, but Google Ads makes so much money from OTAs. So there's going to be a place for them, but also I think that local businesses are going to have a better opportunity to grab traffic in this new model than the current one, because the current one favors the big operators who can spend money writing blogs, paying for ads, OTAs. It favors large newspapers. But this new one, this new model with Gemini and ChatGPT, a small business with a lot of reviews and a good quality product that writes a lot of articles and writes on social a lot, they can actually show up higher in these.
I also think this also means I think in the larger frame of all this, I also think it means that Google probably loses a lot of market share. And I don't think Google's completely fucking protected in all of this. I don't think Apple's completely protected all of this. Imagine if Anthropic came out with a piece of hardware. Imagine if ChatGPT or OpenAI came out with a piece of hardware. You know how terrible Siri is? It's awful.
Siri, I cannot believe Apple did not invest in an AI tool like 5 years ago.
I mean, these companies could be severely fucking disrupted because they don't, I mean, you know, arguably Google, I don't know how many users are on OpenAI, ChatGPT, Anthropic, how that compares to how many users are on Gemini. But I think that there's a real shakeup coming in the tech space all the way across the board. And I think it's such a tenuous, what's the word I'm looking for? A tenuous field, a tenuous situation, a tenuous marketplace with all these things shaping up and changing, and people now moving over to AI as the dominant way that they interact with tech, if you will. I think that changes the entire landscape. And I think it opens up to a whole field and world of possibilities. It's not, I think, it's an actual fact. And what could come out of this is not the same dominating industries. And, you know, Apple's the most highly valuated company in the world. It was for 20 years, but I mean, so was, you know, pick your poison. GE or AT&T or whatever, you know, and I think we have to really approach what the next 20 years looks like as a fundamental shift in what's going to happen with some of these companies. I don't think that, I mean, I think you have to also look at XAI and what Elon Musk and Tesla is doing. And I think you have to look at all these new frontier companies as a real threat to this, I mean, Facebook, Meta, right? Like, I mean, there's an argument where Meta wins a huge market share of search because they're going to dominate top of funnel. Like, people are going to become aware of things now via social media a lot more than they have done Google, because the intentionality is not going to happen necessarily in Google, but it might happen in ChatGPT. It might happen in Anthropic. It might happen in XAI, Gemini, whatever. So as far as the crystal ball on this all goes, nobody has one. And I don't even think that that's Google or Amazon or the rest of them.
So if you're looking at your crystal ball, like, how do you kind of position your companies from like a marketing perspective?
Yeah. So, it's a great question. Social media right now. Social media is going to win across the board. Those who are creative, those who have a great product, not just a great location. Great location certainly gonna be very important. But those who have a great product, those who have a great service, those who have a creative approach to business in general are going to win in the long run. You know, some of these other companies who game the system through SEO, through blogging, through, you know, gaming the reviews, gaming Google Maps. I think if that's your strategy moving forward, and just not having a great fucking company and a great product, great value prop, you know, great value proposition, that's going to be the biggest one. No matter what your pricing, where your pricing lands, you know, you've got to make sure that you're not just the highest reviewed because you know how to game the review system, but you know, far and away that your customers leaving are so happy with your product and service, and that you can showcase and highlight that in a fun, creative way that captures attention and focus on retention and bringing people back in word of mouth, rather than just trying to be slick on Google or have the highest ad budget.
Yeah. So I got like a few takeaways, few tips. One is you got to have social. You got to be talked about in forums, Facebook groups, Reddit, post a lot, videos, content. That has got to be part of your business every single day. Follow Justin Buzzy, and he's one of the best when it comes to social marketing and activities. Uh, Second, Google things to do. So Google Things to Do, I've been saying this a lot the past year. So, Google Things to Do is aggregating product feeds from all the reservation systems, OTAs, and they're putting that data into Google and they're basically creating a mini marketplace inside search. I believe that the future of activities and findability is going to be through Google Things to Do. They can essentially create a marketplace with all that data. You're sending it to them already. We send data feeds from WaveRes. You can run ads with it. I believe that when someone searches boat tours in Destin, that they're already doing this right now in the things to do carousels. They're going to serve those product feeds. And what's great about it is that they know everything about your business. It's updated. They got real-time rates. They know your availability. They can essentially be the OTA now if they want to. So
you know what I really think? I'm sorry, did I cut you off? I'm sorry. Did you have a final point on that?
Well, I was just at a couple of Google things. So if you are not on Google Things to Do or not using it, you need to do it. It's just, even if it doesn't turn out to be anything, but look what Google Flights did. They aggregated with all the major airlines. Now I use Google Flights exclusively. I never go to Delta first. I always go to Google Flights. Google Hotels, I go to Google Hotels first. It aggregates all the rates for all the properties. I'm finding myself going to the marketplaces first less and going to Google or these aggregators first. So from what I've been seeing with the other parts of travel, there's no doubt that they've been building up this large database through Google Things to Do just to create their own marketplace inside Google like they have before. So if you're not on Google Things to Do, you need to get on there immediately. And lastly, your website will likely not be as important from a customer facing standpoint, but it will be for data aggregation to the LLMs. So if you have a crappy website, it won't necessarily matter from a design perspective, maybe in 5 to 10 years, but the data that's on there and how often it's updated will matter because the AI is going to be pulling through that. So is your website marked up with AI schema? And that just basically means, can the AI read your website? There's ways to write the content or mark it up to where it's, and you can ask any developer or go on ChatGPT, it'll tell you how to do it. But making sure your website is AI optimized so it can read it. And there's a lot of shit on there. Talk about everything, FAQs, what the customer experience is, funny stories, whatever you can that it can use. So when someone asks a long query in those LLMs, that you have a possibility. Someone may ask, hey, can my 3 dogs go on a pontoon boat? And is there shade? Like, they're going to ask weird questions and you might be able to pull in for those long tail queries. So those are my big things that getting ready for this. And I'd say like 80% of operators, 90% are probably not doing all those things. But if you are, you're in a good place.
You know what my real crystal ball on all of this is?
What?
You know what I really believe? I think it's all going to zero. I think everything's going to zero. And I think we're going to go into a universal high income and people are going to get a shitload of money through the taxation, massive taxation of multi-trillion-dollar AI companies. And if you really love business, there's a place in it for you. But, you know, I think it's going to be real challenging. I think it's probably going to be very small teams. I don't, you know, and this could be like 10 years away, 20 years away, you know.
Did you hear the CEO from Citi said the next 3 years will be the last years we'll see multimillionaires, like startup millionaires. Like, he was saying something as if like it's going to get exponentially harder to be like a multimillionaire because of how easy it is for people to start up businesses and to compete. It'll flatten out.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean, Nvidia CEO said the same thing. Like, you got 5 years to cash in on the AI gold rush, so to speak. That doesn't mean that there's not going to be ways to like make money. Like, it's hard for me to like really look at that and see that. Cause I'm like, man, you know, like if you're trying to run, let's just say a water sport business, you know, like if everyone's getting like, let's just call it $500,000 or $1 million a year in today's economy, who the fuck's going to come work for you?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean,
Well,
if you got a bunch of fleet of automated boats, like, don't get me wrong, like that, you know, that'd be fucking cool. If you got a bunch of like Tesla, like self-driving boats and everything like that, then yeah, you know, like there's gonna be opportunity. There's still gonna be opportunity after this, like probably a lot of opportunity for people. But it's just like business is gonna be like a passion thing. You know what I mean? It's
yeah.
like,
Well,
you know, Joe Rogan and all these guys like talk about how oh shit, yeah, gotcha.
yeah,
Yeah,
I got to jump into another call, but well, hey, if you like what you heard, if you have thoughts on AI and Kevin's philosophies, go in the group and write a post. But we got to run. We got a lot of great shows and guests coming on in the next few months. And as always, keep it awkward.
All right, buddy.